What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sean O'Malley has issued an apology to Song Yadong after receiving criticism for wearing a face mask during their recent face-off. The moment quickly sparked controversy, with many fans and fighters questioning his intentions. Song Yadong, in particular, voiced his frustration, while others expressed concern over how the situation unfolded. After O'Malley appeared wearing the mask, the Chinese bantamweight called out the move, suggesting it was inappropriate. The incident gained traction online, and the former champion soon found himself under heavy scrutiny. Speaking to the media ahead of UFC 324, O'Malley was asked directly about the reaction and whether he regretted his decision. He explained that his intentions were never meant to be harmful or offensive. According to him, it was supposed to be a lighthearted and silly joke that simply did not land the way he expected. He admitted that the situation was taken out of context and apologized to anyone who felt disrespected. He made it clear that he never meant to cross any lines and expressed regret if his actions offended fans or his opponent. When Song Yadong was later asked about the incident during Media Day, he shared his own perspective. While he said he was personally okay, he stressed that racism should never be brought into the sport. For him, mixed martial arts should remain focused on competition and respect. He acknowledged that O'Malley had already apologized and even spoke to fans in China to express his regret. Song also suggested that the mask may have been intended as a psychological tactic, but he insisted that it did not affect him. Instead, he said he remains fully focused on winning the fight. Putting the controversy aside, O'Malley was later asked about his future plans if he were to win on Saturday. Without hesitation, he set his sights on a rematch with Petr Yan. Although he emphasized that he was not overlooking Song, he made it clear that a victory would put him right back in title contention. He believes that a second fight with Petr would be massive and meaningful for his career. When questioned about other potential matchups, including names like Umar and Merab, O'Malley reiterated that his main goal is facing Petr next. He said he is trying to manifest that outcome and believes that if he delivers a beautiful performance, the matchup will be impossible to ignore. He even mentioned that a fight against Petr at the White House would be huge. Meanwhile, Corey Sandhagen also weighed in with his prediction. Speaking to Ariel Helwani, he said he sees O'Malley winning the fight. He explained that Song's tendency to lunge into big shots could be a problem against someone with O'Malley's height, reach, and movement. Unless Song changes his approach or makes the fight messy through wrestling, Sandhagen believes it will be very difficult for him to close the distance and find consistent success. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Michael Chandler has shown interest in taking part in a wrestling match with Arman after their recent back-and-forth exchanges. The two have traded verbal jabs since Arman dominated Lance Palmer at the recent RAF 5 event, which sparked more attention around a possible matchup. When Chandler was asked about the idea of facing Arman in a wrestling contest, he sounded open and confident about it. He explained that while his main focus remains on fighting at the White House, he would not hesitate to step onto the mat with Arman. Chandler said he is definitely interested and believes it could be an exciting challenge. He also hinted that fans should not be surprised if the RAF organization tries to make the match happen. For now, Chandler remains focused on his primary goals, but the idea of testing himself against Arman in wrestling is clearly on his radar. Moving on to another news, Israel Adesanya has admitted that he is not impressed with the current state of the UFC middleweight division, as questions continue to grow about how much longer he plans to keep fighting. The former champion recently opened up about his motivation and mindset, making it clear that the division at 185 pounds no longer excites him the way it once did. Adesanya is currently booked to face the rising and hard-hitting Joe Pyfer on March 28th in Seattle, a matchup that many fans are looking forward to. However, despite still competing at a high level, he suggested that the landscape of the division has changed significantly since his dominant run at the top. While appearing as a guest on the Ariel Helwani show, he was asked about whether another title run is still a major goal for him at this stage of his career. In response, Adesanya explained that he is still the same person and still believes in his abilities, but he does not feel the same excitement about the division anymore. He said that the middleweight scene is not what it was when he was ruling it, and although he knows people would like to see him as champion again, it is no longer his main focus. According to him, when a title opportunity comes, it comes, but he is not chasing it obsessively. He also questioned what the last truly exciting moment in the division was. From his perspective, the last major buzz came when Du Plessis became champion, which generated significant attention. Since then, Adesanya feels that there has not been much happening that truly captured the imagination of fans. He even pointed out that there had been a long stretch without UFC events, which made the division feel even quieter. Many observers agree that the middleweight division is not as stacked or as thrilling as it was several years ago, especially during Adesanya's peak years. His rise through the rankings was dramatic and memorable, and his rivalry and battles with Alex Pereira helped define an era. Those fights brought massive attention and energy to the division, setting a high standard that has been difficult to match since. During the same interview, Adesanya was also asked about the possibility of fighting on a potential White House card. He said he would not completely rule it out, but he expressed some concerns. He explained that he hopes real MMA fans would be present, rather than just politicians and people in suits who are there for appearances. For him, fighting in front of passionate supporters who genuinely care about the sport is what truly matters, and he wants fans to always be part of the experience. Moving on to another news. Michael Chandler has reacted to Dana White seemingly shutting down any remaining hope of a fight with Conor. Although it sounds like the UFC president has closed the door on the matchup and possibly locked it for good, Chandler is still holding on to a sense of optimism. Despite multiple delays and even one official cancellation in the past, Chandler has continued to campaign for the fight. He has consistently made it clear that facing Conor remains his top priority. However, in a recent interview with Complex, Dana White was asked whether Conor versus Chandler could be part of a potential White House event. White did not hesitate to shut the idea down. He stated that the fight was something the UFC had considered a couple of years ago, but it is no longer part of their current plans. Around the same time, rumors about Conor possibly fighting Jorge Masvidal were also dismissed by Dana White, further suggesting that Conor's return plans remain uncertain. Shortly after these comments made headlines, Chandler appeared as a guest on the Ariel Helwani show, where he was asked to respond to Dana's statements. Chandler admitted that the news was not encouraging, but he refused to give up hope. He said that nobody truly knows what fights will end up on the White House card, and that things can change quickly in this sport. According to him, nothing is ever completely final. While he acknowledged that hearing Dana's comments was disappointing, he emphasized that he can only control what is within his power, such as his preparation and mindset. When Helwani suggested that Chandler might still be Conor's top choice for a comeback fight, Chandler shared his thoughts on Conor's character. He said that, in his opinion, Conor is more of a man of his word than people give him credit for. While admitting that Conor has made questionable decisions and has flown off the handle at times, Chandler believes that deep down, Conor still wants to honor their original agreement. He feels that Conor wants to complete the Ultimate Fighter contract they started together by eventually stepping into the cage with him. During the interview, Chandler also revealed that he does not currently have any backup plans. He explained that he is fully committed to Plan A and will not consider alternatives until that option is completely exhausted. For now, his focus remains on preparing as if the fight is still happening. He shared that he is structuring his training, diet, and overall lifestyle around a potential June return. In his mind, the goal is still to fight at the White House and to do so against Conor. While nothing is guaranteed, Chandler remains patient and determined, choosing to stay ready and let the situation play out naturally. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje has revealed that his fight pay has stayed exactly the same despite the UFC's massive new broadcast deal with Paramount. While Dana White has publicly claimed that this new agreement would bring more money into fighters' bank accounts, and Daniel Cormier has suggested that athletes are already seeing the benefits, Gaethje's experience tells a very different story. Ahead of UFC 324, which officially marks the beginning of the new Paramount era, Gaethje spoke openly about his situation during Media Day. The deal, reportedly worth over $7 billion, has eliminated traditional pay-per-views in the United States and has filled the promotion's coffers. Naturally, many fans and fighters have been wondering how much of that money would actually reach the athletes who step into the cage. For Gaethje, The answer appears to be disappointing. When asked if his compensation had changed under the new deal, he did not hold back. He pointed out that he has earned 14 performance bonuses throughout his career, and that, even with those, he still never reached $1 million in bonus money. He said that this was not right, and that fighters like him should be making far more than they currently do. According to Gaethje, he feels he should have had more opportunities to make smarter financial decisions earlier in his career, but he simply did not earn enough to do so. He also addressed comments from Daniel Cormier, who had suggested that fighters on the card would be paid more because of the new agreement. Gaethje made it clear that, in his case, that was not true. He stated that he is not getting a single dollar more than he would have if the Paramount deal never happened. In his words, his pay remains exactly the same, despite the massive increase in revenue for the company. Despite his frustration, Gaethje also reflected on the positive things he has been able to do with his earnings. He shared that one of his smartest decisions was investing in commercial property and purchasing a home in Arizona close to his parents. His sister now rents that property from him, which allows him to support his family in a meaningful way. More importantly, he spoke about how proud he is to help his parents, brothers, and sisters, whether through gifts, vacations, or simply spending quality time together. For Gaethje, being able to give his family experiences he never had growing up means everything. He emphasized that money cannot replace time, and that helping his loved ones has been the most rewarding part of his career. Still, his comments highlight a growing concern among fighters that even with record-breaking media deals, their personal paychecks may not reflect the sport's massive financial success. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett has reacted to growing speculation surrounding Justin Gaethje and a possible staph infection ahead of their upcoming fight at UFC 324. In recent days, a photo surfaced online showing what appeared to be a noticeable mark on Gaethje's neck, which many fans believe could be staph. Since this type of infection can be extremely serious in combat sports, the image quickly sparked widespread discussion about how it might affect his performance. Ever since the photo began circulating, supporters and critics alike have been debating whether Gaethje is fully healthy going into the matchup. During Media Day, Paddy was asked directly about the rumors and did not hesitate to share his thoughts in his usual blunt and confident style. He said that he had seen the image and was aware of the talk online, but made it clear that it does not concern him. According to Paddy, if Gaethje has staph, then he has staph, and there is nothing he can do about it. He added that it would not change his mindset at all, because he still plans to go in there and dominate. He even pointed out that fighters in his gym have competed with staph before and still managed to knock opponents out in the first round, showing that it does not always have a major impact. Paddy also joked that if he wins, people will probably use the alleged infection as an excuse. He said that fans will likely claim Gaethje was not at his best because of the staph, instead of giving him credit for the victory. To him, that is just part of the game, and he has learned to ignore outside noise. He emphasized that all that really matters is showing up in the cage, ready to fight. In his view, when he performs at his best, nobody can beat him. He believes in his preparation and mindset, regardless of what is happening on the other side. After these comments, more images began circulating online, showing Gaethje wearing a bandage on his neck. One user on X pointed out that the wound still appeared to be open and covered. This only added more fuel to the speculation. It remains to be seen how Gaethje will address the situation after the fight. For now, Paddy seems fully focused on his own performance and is determined not to let rumors or medical talk distract him from his goal inside the octagon. Moving on to another news, Paddy Pimblett delivered a fiery message to Justin Gaethje during Media Day, making it clear that he believes this fight will change everything. Speaking with confidence and intensity, Paddy warned that Gaethje will not be physically the same after they step into the cage together. He said that while his opponent will take serious damage, he expects to walk away completely fine. According to Paddy, he plans to put a beatdown on Gaethje like he has never received before in his career. He promised fans that his performance would be dominant and unforgettable. Paddy also stressed that he is fully prepared for the challenge and has complete belief in his skills. With his trademark swagger, he made it clear that he is coming to make a statement and prove he belongs among the elite. In his mind, this fight is his moment to shine, and he is determined to seize it. Moving on to another news, Justin Gaethje has fired back at Paddy Pimblett with a strong and confident warning ahead of their fight. Even before the matchup was officially booked, Paddy had repeatedly claimed that fighters like him cannot be knocked out, suggesting that he is too tough to be finished. When Gaethje was asked about those comments, he responded in his own blunt and scientific way. He said that you do not need to be a doctor to understand how the human brain works. According to him, if you shake the head hard enough, the brain will hit the skull and shut down. Gaethje promised that he plans to prove that inside the cage. He said he will show Paddy what happens when he connects cleanly. For Gaethje, the main motivation right now is knocking the Scouser out and proudly representing America on Fight Night. Moving on to another news. Belal Muhammad shared his prediction for the upcoming fight between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje on his YouTube channel. Muhammad said that he is leaning toward picking Gaethje to win. He explained that Paddy tends to take a lot of damage on the feet, which could work in Gaethje's favor. While he is not certain whether it will be a knockout or a finish, Muhammad believes it is unlikely to go to a decision. He emphasized that Gaethje's striking and power give him the edge, and fans will find out the results soon enough.